Alright guys, some more changes coming in 2024 from the VA. Now this is regarding changes to VA tinnitus ratings. Now I'm sure it's going to be tied in with hearing loss somewhere down the line here, so let's go over some of the stuff that they're saying in this article here now. VA tinnitus rating changes on the horizon. It goes out saying, hey veteran, quick heads up about tinnitus ratings. There might be some changes coming this year, which is 2024. Right now, tinnitus is either granted a 10% VA rating or nothing at all. But in 2024, the VA is looking at switching things up. They're looking to rate tinnitus based on its connection with an underlying condition like hearing loss instead of its own separate thing. Pretty interesting there, right? Good news, if anything changes, it won't mess with your current rating. You're grandfathered in under the old system. And it goes on to say here, let's look into it a little bit more detail. In 2024, there is no VA tinnitus rating increase potential. Why? Because the VA rates tinnitus at either 10% or nothing at all. And that's the way it's been for many, many years. I know I got out, like I said, in 1981, and I had tinnitus at the time and hearing loss, bilateral sensorineural hearing loss. But they gave me a 0% rating on that, and it gave me 10% on tinnitus. Okay, there is no higher or lower rating for tinnitus. It clearly states it right here. But all that could end as the VA looks to change how it evaluates and rates tinnitus with the target date for a final rule publication of April 2024. So, 2024, this ruling should go into effect. And we will say here, how does the VA currently rate tinnitus? Currently, the VA rates tinnitus under CFR Title 38, Part 4, the Schedule for Rating Disabilities Diagnostic Code, which is DC 6260, tinnitus recurrent. The rating is either 10% or nothing at all, just like we stated earlier. There is also no bilateral rating factor for tinnitus. And it goes on to say, will I be able to get a VA tinnitus rating increase? Right now, there's no path to increase a VA rating for tinnitus. What they tell you right there is going to be pretty difficult. However, that could change in future depending on the origin and severity of your tinnitus. There are also possibilities for high-value secondary conditions to tinnitus and other diagnostic codes that can be rated up to 100%. Also keep in mind vertigo and Meniere's syndrome. If you think you might have either of these conditions, might be something to look into. Why? Because VA ratings for vertigo range from 10% to 100% with breaks at 30% and 60%. And VA ratings for Meniere's syndrome are 30, 60, and 100%. Now, is the VA changing how it rates tinnitus? Yes. The VA has proposed changes to how it will evaluate and rate tinnitus. In my opinion, these changes are bad for veterans, and the easy 10% rating for tinnitus could soon be gonzo. I mean, gone out the window. Now, most of the time, if you was in the military and you got out, they pretty much tied probably 60% of everybody that served in the military to tinnitus one way or another, because you're always going to have hearing loss when you go in the military. I don't care what anybody says, it doesn't make no damn difference what branch of service you're in, you're going to have some kind of hearing loss. If you ever seen active duty, you're damn sure going to have hearing loss. Now, the proposed changes would remove the separate VA rating for tinnitus under DC 6260 and instead rate tinnitus only as part of its underlying pathology with hearing loss. Pretty self-explanatory there, folks. For instance, DC 6100 will provide a 10% evaluation for tinnitus associated with hearing loss only when hearing loss is non-compensable at 0%. E.g., only when hearing loss on its own does not warrant a 10% evaluation or higher. If hearing loss is compensable at 10% or more, warranting a 10% evaluation or greater, an additional 10% evaluation for tinnitus associated with hearing loss shall not be assigned. So see, they're going to, if you got 20%, they're going to take 10% away from you. They're not going to give you the full 20%. Now, let's go down here to the hearing loss with tinnitus associated with underlying hearing loss, DC code 6100. If hearing loss is evaluated at 0% and then tinnitus is diagnosed as associated with underlying hearing loss, you only get 10%. Next equation, otherwise evaluate using the hearing loss tables. That stuff is very confusing. Bunch of Roman numerals over here and a bunch of stuff up here. It's just, you'd have to see it to understand it, and even if you did, you probably won't understand it. I don't understand it and haven't had anybody explain it to me where I could. Note number one, the 10% evaluation is only applicable to tinnitus diagnosed as associated with non-compensable service-connected hearing loss. Tinnitus diagnosis is associated with another service-connected disability, such as Meniere's disease, residuals of traumatic brain injury, cerebral articular sclerosis, I don't know if I pronounced that right, that's a pretty big word, vascular neurocognitive disorder, must be evaluated as part of that disability without a separate evaluation for tinnitus under diagnostic code 6100. Note 2, tinnitus will only be compensated as part of the underlying service-connected condition. Okay, why is the VA changing the VA rating for tinnitus? The VA asserts that changes, or let me back up, the VA asserts that these changes are to better align with current medical practice. For example, the Mayo Clinic says tinnitus is usually caused by an underlying condition such as age-related hearing loss, an ear injury, or a problem with the circulatory system. For many people, tinnitus improves with treatment over the underlying cause or with other treatment that reduce or mask that noise, making tinnitus less noticeable. I don't think you can mask that stuff, man. When it comes on inside my old skull, it's there. It's hard to get rid of. You just got to cover up, get in the dark, put an ice pack on your head, do whatever you think you can to block it out, and hopefully it goes away pretty quick. While not intended by the VA, prior rulemaking created the impression that tinnitus isn't an independent condition rather than a symptom associated with an underlying condition. Wow, okay. The VA's intent with the proposed revision is to accurately restore the medically supported relationship between tinnitus and underlying pathology, which is better aligned with current medical practice. Yeah, they all got some big words in there, right? Will the new tinnitus rating criteria impact my current rating? Well, they're saying no. No, any change to how the VA rates tinnitus will not impact a veteran's current service-connected disability rating for tinnitus under Code 6260. You will be grandfathered in under the old rating system. That's really important. Now guys, I've said it in other videos and I'll state it again at the closing of this one here. We really appreciate you stopping in and taking time to look at this video. We ask that you hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, so this video will get out there and reach other veterans that may need this information. It is valuable to some of you it's just trash, but however, this is a homegrown video that I filmed right here in my old shop, warehouse, office, whatever you want to call it. I don't have a high-tech crew. We don't make a lot of money off of this crap, but we're trying to pass information on that will help you as a veteran, as I wish somebody would have did to me when I got out of the military back in the 80s. We did not have internet. We did not have all these sources to get this information from. Now it's there. We just need to get this video out there to help the veterans that do need it. So you expressing interest in it, hitting the thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and sharing this video will get it out there, and it will help this little bitty mom and pop channel that my wife and I have going here grow a little bit in time. And the more viewers, subscribers, and likes we get, and more comments down in the comments section we get, the further this video will go reach other people. Now, folks, there's a lot of things you can claim in the VA. If you got them, make sure they're in your service records. That's the most important part. If you've got a disability you want to file a claim on, don't just jump out there and file that claim. Make sure you take yourself to that VA clinic, get something documented on paper. That way it makes your claim more sustainable or more likely to get compensation on. I'm not good with these big words, but it is what it is. All I can tell you is if you're sick, you're ill, go to the VA clinic, get everything documented. And if you got something there that you can tie back to your military history, there's a good chance you'll get some kind of compensation for your disability. Again, thumbs up, like, subscribe. God bless you guys. Appreciate you serving the country. See you in the next video.